family, friends, and internet peoples. I know it's been a long time since I did an episode on this channel, and we're back for a special rebuilding of our old friend Audrey too. She's not doing as well these days as she was. For regular watchers of my channel, you're wondering, where did Amy go? I have a nephew. He's 8.5 months old, and I have spent the entire first half of the year, every spare minute I have, making sure I get to see his milestones, and he is just the cutest little thing on the planet. I call him my squish, and I love him to death. Well, not to death, that's a bit much. Anyway, I just love him so much. So that's one of the big reasons I haven't been around. The other reason, last fall I caught COVID, had a long recovery from that, and I have just been doing so much art. I've been doing tie-dye, I've been working on my secret project. I've just been very busy with that and other social obligations, so things fall to the wayside. The YouTube channel has fallen. I am going to try to make a few more videos before the end of this year, fingers crossed. To begin with, this video, we are going to attempt to rescue Audrey. Poor Audrey too has been reduced to this blue bucket. Her plunger disintegrated. Here she is, looking as beautiful as, you're gorgeous, as ever. Not only plunger disintegrate, but so did most of her floral foam. I've got these chunks that are just completely falling apart, and we tried to stick her back up. She lasted a decent Halloween, but she didn't store very well. So I'm coming back to start again and rebuild her. Now, the original design I got from a woman named Heather Kirk on Facebook. I didn't know her name when I made Audrey originally, when I kind of copied the design originally. No attempt at plagiarism here, just imitation is the greatest form of flattery instead. So I'm going to attempt to make Audrey a little bit more permanent. And how I'm going to do that is we're going to get rid of her original plastic bucket, because it's on the flimsy side. All of her greens are going to be kept and reused. What I'm going to do instead, I got this metal bucket, and I got this broom handle. I'm not going to use the whole thing because that would be ridiculously tall. What I am going to do is bring this over to my parents' house and have my dad help me cut this in half. So about half would bring it to be about there. I'm going to kind of cement or plaster or whatever I get my hands on into this bucket, and I will show you all of that coming up. And once again, this is Amy has no idea what she's doing, and we're going to make this up as we go along. Hi, Daddy.
Hello.
I have a stick for you to cut. So I'm thinking that we might want to cut that in half. It's about 4 feet long. I think 2 feet might make sense. Oh, like all good measurements like this, we measure twice.
2 feet.
Ooh, Mom and Dad's new patio. Okay, thank you very much, sir.
2 feet.
2 feet. Now we just got to go home and get that label off, and we can continue. The original material list for this project included a white pumpkin, a small plunger, bucket, floral foam, 18 gauge wire, 2 pieces of white felt, spray paint in assorted colors, acrylic paint in assorted colors, assorted florals, tools needed, drill, wire cutter, pliers, scissors, marker, glue gun, and glue sticks. We're getting rid of the plunger, which I've already gotten rid of because it fell apart, the floral foam, and the cheap plastic bucket, because again, I don't want it to crack. Materials that are going to be used over, I'm going to keep Audrey's head because it's in decent condition. And all of the silk flowers and leaves and things, we're going to continue to use those, as well as any acrylic paint we may need to touch up Audrey. Updated material list. Our old Audrey and all of her florals, green felt, bucket or pot,
You can use the original one you had if it's decent enough. Plaster, a wooden broom handle, assorted acrylic paint. Tools, drill, saw, glue gun, glue sticks.
You can use whatever you want for the bottom. You can use a nice vase. It depends on how much money you want to spend. I spent $16 at the hardware store and got this utility bucket. It's a 10-quart metal bucket. I figure it's, you know, it's metal. Don't have to worry about it cracking because it's plastic or anything chipping because of pottery or anything like that. So I've been to Mom and Dad's house and my broom handle is now cut in half. I don't need this half. This half is the one I'm going to keep because it's got the screw marks, and that's my thought in all of this. Yeah, we're going to drill a hole in the bottom of this and then just screw this broom handle into it. But before we can begin, we have to clean up the old project a little bit. So what we've got a lot of on here is we've got old glue, just lots and lots of old glue that just needs to be cleaned up, and I'm going to do that off camera. Mostly it's going to be me just sitting around picking at this. I may take like an X-Acto knife or something and use that to peel it away. I'm not exactly sure that my best method of this. I'm also going to leave the wire from this original project. I'm going to just connect more flowers and stuff to it so I don't have to worry about it because it is directly connected to Audrey's tongue, and we don't want to undo all of that work. Anyway, so we're not going to mess with the tongue. We're not going to mess with the wire that's holding the tongue in. We're just going to strap the wire onto the pole like we did the last time, and then we'll just cover this whole thing up with leaves when the time comes. But for now, I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to clean all the glue off, and then we'll come back when it's time to touch it up. I just got all the glue off of Audrey and we're going to paint her in a minute, but I noticed that the top of my broom, which will be sitting in the bucket like this, is not even. So I figured I would pull out a sandpaper or a file and just even that out a little bit. So I'm just going to hold this still and file this even, and I'm going to turn down the noise for any of those of you who are sensitive to it. This is how this looked, and I filed it down a little bit, and we're just going to try to make this a little bit more even, but I think we're just about there. Alright. Yeah, okay, that's good.
Now I'm just going to prep my palette, and you get to see my yellow get stuck. I'm using a variety of greens and some dark red. Now my yellow is fixed.
So I'm just going to use these colors to cover over, let me pull that out a little bit, any of these white bits from where I pulled the glue off. So we got all of that damage just needs to be covered up. It's going to be a little bit harder to paint this time because I'm trying to work around all of the decoration, and you know, like, I don't want to ruin her lips. We may have to actually touch those up a bit. I'm noticing there's a bit of a crack here, which is fine. It'll just give more character to her mouth, but we're going to want to touch that up.
So I started at the back with the dark green, mixing and using the red, yellow, and lighter greens as I moved closer to the front, loading it with my paint. Then I added in some dark into the creases to give it more depth. I continued to layer and blend and blend and blend until I was happy with it, and then I let it dry. Once I saw she was dry, I took a closer look at those lips, and yeah, we're gonna need to give those a once over. In hindsight, I should have used more blue while touching up her lips. Quick note, I did get the memo about blood on the lips being a man-eating plant and all that. However, it's going to a church coffee house, so I think we'll skip it this round. Once I got the lips looking better, I let the whole thing dry for about 24 hours. Time to drill a hole wide enough to screw my broom handle into. I put it slightly off center so the head will tilt. Starting with a small pilot hole, and then I slowly made it wider using wider drill bits. I finished with the 1/2 inch bit and am now screwing on the handle as a test before I paint it. And it works. Now I'm just going to paint the broom handle with dark green. Unfortunately, I don't have any thicker paint here, so I'm using some old craft paint. This is going to take a while and a lot of layers.
Alright, so there she is. She's all painted. She's got a beautiful new makeover. Her paint is all touched up, and I have drilled a hole. Where is it? Right there. I drilled a hole in the bottom of her. And so our next step, we're going to put her out of the way, and we are going to make our base that she is going to sit in. And I'm going to have Joey help me for that. We've got our metal bucket and her neck hole. And we have approximately 9 pounds of plaster of Paris that we are going to put into that bucket. Alright, so we have 9 pounds of plaster, so 2 parts plaster, 1 part water, so that's 2 quarts and a pint. So Joey's actually here, he's gonna help.
Hooray!
I know it's been a long time. He's been working really hard. It's one of the reasons we haven't had many videos. We should be wearing masks, but we're terrible people.
You should have plenty of time. I'll open up this.
More from breathing in the dust. We don't want to breathe in the dust. In goes the water. Alright. Okie dokie. I'll just start pouring.
It's like playing with Play-Doh.
Yeah, you can't see this part, but it's working. Oh! There we go. Alright, so mixing. So we're just going to make this smooth, and then we're going to stick the steak in the middle of it. We just have to make sure that we get it all mixed within 6 minutes, because then it's not going to be any good.
Probably going to want 2 hands for that if that's the case.
Yeah, like I said, this stuff dries quickly. Oh, yeah. We are smooth. I'll let you just get all that stuff off your hands, and you can go wash them, and then I'm going to plunge this into the center and start trying to tape it straight. I have painter's tape for this purpose. Okay. Put that in. Oh, look at it. Look at that. It's already thick. So there it is, plunged in. It doesn't need the painter's tape per se, but I'm gonna add some anyway, just to be on the safe side, because we do have kitties, and as beautiful as they are, one case of the zoomies and this will be knocked over. This is making me miss my old phone. We went from having sound equipment to no sound equipment, and having a decent camera to having a crap camera and a phone to having a good camera and a phone, and now all we have is a good camera. It's tragedy over on this channel because we have no money. Alright. I mean, I have a phone, but it does not take good pictures or video. I went from too short to too long. Alright, so hopefully that should do it. And we're just gonna let this sit for 24 hours. I've collectively been working on this with big drying time. So since I started this project where I did all the inventory, and then I went to Dad's house and had him cut the pole for me, came back, painted Audrey, let her dry, drilled her hole. Now we've done this, we are on day 3. So we're gonna let this dry, and hopefully day 4 we can put her together, add her foliage, put her head on her neck here, and hopefully we'll be done. We're going to fix her up. It'll be beautiful. Alright, it's been 72 hours since we did the plaster of Paris. It's still a little damp, but considering the amount of plaster that was used here, and it wasn't used with the warmest water, this could take up to 2 weeks to thoroughly dry out. We don't have 2 weeks. We're just gonna continue to move forward in this. So I'm going to take the tape off. This is hard. This is not going anywhere. It's just not completely dry. There we go. Okay, so now I have this old green felt that I've been using for another project, but there's so much of it. There's no reason I can't lay a layer of this in the bottom just to cover the plaster. Okay, now this doesn't have to be perfect because that's just going in the bottom of a bucket. So I'm just going to cut, it's about the right size. Now I'm going to put this into the bucket. Put that down in. I'm going to cut some of this away.
So it's mostly covered.
The rest will be covered by our flowers as we go. I'm going to put Audrey's head on, and then we will move on to our next step. So we've got the hole that I drilled in the bottom, and I'm just going to screw this head into place. And I know I can because I've done it before. Not like that. I haven't done it like, well, it's been standing up like this, but this is a very long neck, but that means we got a lot of foliage that we can, oh, almost there. Almost there. Now I take our wire, and I'm just gonna come back and wrap it around the hole. Now, if I get to a point where I feel like this needs more support than it has by doing it this way, then I'll take the head off and add some glue. But this looks like it should be all right. And there she is. Ta-da! Now, we've got all of this foliage left over from this project to begin with. Unfortunately, all of our floral foam, as you can see, it's just falling apart. It's disintegrating completely. So I'm just gonna toss this, and I'll use this bucket for another project at some point. So we do have some other floral foam which you could use if you wanted to. I think I'm going to use a few pieces in the very bottom just to give us a base to start with. Again, this is the old floral foam that I started this project with, so it's in pretty rough shape. It's not as bad as the plunger was though, so we can, I'm trying to save as much of the original project as I possibly can. Any of the materials that you were working with to begin with, for the most part, will be able to be reused. I'm going to just start decorating her and seeing what I can come up with. If it's too much, like I've got these great big leaves. These are great for the very base, I think. And actually, I'm gonna take this big vine to begin with, and I'm just gonna wrap it around her. Oh, look at that. There she goes. There she's got her leaves back. And I haven't used the hot glue yet. I'm gonna heat up my hot glue gun and see what I can secure to her. But she looks great already. What a good start. And now at this point in time, it just becomes a lot of flower arranging. So I'm gonna go ahead and mostly I'm gonna be focusing on hiding any old glue patches to hide the wire. We're gonna use it for that, and just to make her look really, I'm envisioning lots and lots of leaves. I've got a little bit of different colored stuff, add a little pop to her. So we're gonna get started on that, and a good chunk of that's gonna be done off camera, but I'll do a little bit of a speed through at the same time. Last time that I got to work on her, I actually had to like scooch down to take a picture with her face to face. And I don't really have to do that now. She's gotten a little bigger. Well, I mean, you do grow over time, right? There she is. She's all finished. I don't know that I need to cover up anything else. I think we're gonna call her done. Joey should be back shortly. We'll see what he thinks, but I think that she is ready to go to Mom's church and be a part of the props on the stage for this season's coffee house. All right, you want to turn Audrey around?
The big reveal.
This is the big reveal. I'm just cleaning up a little bit. There she is.
In all her marvelous glory.
Alright, so, final critique. What do you think? Riley already came in here and pointed out to me spots where you could see her wires and some glue and stuff, so I filled her in as best I could. So even on the back, I think she looks better than she ever did. Honestly, that's my opinion. Humble opinion.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It kind of billows out from the bottom. I imagined her being more floofy as it went up, but based off of the time and the energy and the resources that we have, I think this is fantastic.
Okay, so we're gonna call this a success. Okay, well anyway, so yes, there she is in all her glory. She's ready to go to church. I mean, she's even got a nice little hat and everything.
Yeah.
She closed the door on me. Mom. Okay.
Hey, Doc. What is she doing? Taking a picture in the front door?
No. We're bringing in Audrey.
Oh.
We got your reaction last time.
All right.
Here she comes.
I think she's had a major improvement. Wow.
I think she's taller.
Yeah, she is definitely taller.
Significantly.
She's also significantly heavier.
And she wasn't, you know, she was lighter.
Yeah.
This is actually much better. Much better.
She's beautiful. Okay, it's time to get Daddy's reaction to what he helped create.
Turn around and look at your daughter. Your daughter's because you created her.
I'm over here.
Yep.
Why is that the first thing you want to do? No. I mean, that was one of the things I wanted to do too.
Well, because there it is.
Yeah.
It's good.
All right, so until next time,
Take care
be safe.
and bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw and would like to see more content like this, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I have uploaded again. And from all of us at the channel, take care, be safe, and...